Imagine a delivery truck with wheels taller than most people's waistline, solid rubber tires, and a top speed barely outpacing a trotting mule. Now picture it conquering mud, Fords, and wagon ruts when the Model T politely refused. That was the IHC Auto Wagon Model MW delivery, the machine that taught America's backroads how to do business. Ladies and gentlemen, crank your magnetos, polish those oil lamps, and brush the hay off your Sunday vest. We're going back to a time when four-wheel drive meant 4 actual wooden wheels, and your mechanic was also your blacksmith. Welcome to the dusty brilliance of the 1912 IHC Auto Wagon, a contraption so delightfully old school it makes a Model T look like a Cybertruck with a TikTok account. And let's take a moment to tip our straw hats to the generous patrons of this channel, the subscribers who sponsor this journey into vehicular time travel. Smash that subscribe button for more insane vehicles that history forgot. Now picture the United States in 1912. Vast, muddy, and barely paved. While cities flirted with electric streetcars and horseless buggies, the countryside still swam in ruts and gumbo mud. Enter the International Harvester Company, known to most for their tractors and tools, who decided America needed a workhorse on wheels, quite literally. And thus, the Auto Wagon was born. Built in the bustling industrial heart of Akron, Ohio, the 1912 Auto Wagon Model MW delivery emerged not as a car, not quite a truck, but as a mechanical mule, ready to haul flour sacks, hardware, gossip, and children, not necessarily in that order. The MW was the water-cooled sibling to the air-cooled MA, and both evolved from IHC's earlier auto buggy designs. But while the MA could overheat like an old politician on a summer porch, the MW was designed for continuous duty with a 2-cylinder engine and a thirst for hard labor. Design? Function over flair, friends. No celebrity stylists were hired, unless you count Farmer John with a pitchfork and a vision. It was engineered by IHC's in-house team, tasked with solving a brutal equation. How do you move heavy things through knee-deep mud when the nearest paved road is a rumor? The answer? High wheels, chain drive, and an engine you could fix with a wrench, a prayer, and a well-trained chicken. The Auto Wagon didn't pretend to be elegant. It was proudly practical. Think of it as the ultimate rural utility vehicle. Back when SUV stood for some unidentified vibration. It was marketed to farmers, mailmen, traveling salesmen, and anyone whose morning commute included crossing a creek. With a convertible bed and optional Sunday seats, it could transform from cargo hauler to church limo overnight. Because even back then, versatility sold. Production numbers weren't counted with Swiss precision, but we know around 20,000 high-wheelers were churned out by IHC from 1907 to 1916. That's more than any of their tiny competitors could manage. The MW delivery, being water-cooled and work-ready, was among the more desirable variants. Today, surviving examples are museum pieces or the pride of rural families who once used them to transport both produce and grandchildren. It's the sort of vehicle that didn't retire. It just waited patiently in the barn until rediscovered by collectors with grease under their fingernails and dreams of restoration glory. Mechanically, the Model MW delivery was about as far from modern complexity as you can get without reverting to a wheelbarrow. The engine was a horizontally opposed twin-cylinder water-cooled unit, displacing 159 cubic inches and pushing out a mighty 20 horsepower, roughly the same as a nervous donkey. Carburation was handled by a Schiebler carburetor, while ignition came from a magneto system, often a Bosch if you were fancy. Where was the engine? Under the seat, naturally, because nothing says confidence like sitting directly above an industrial lawnmower-sized power plant while bouncing over a plowed field. Power was routed through a 2-speed planetary gearbox, 1 speed for forward, 1 for bravery, and delivered to the rear axle via chain drive. It was rudimentary, yes, but reliable. You could drop a wrench in it and still make your deliveries by sundown. The chassis rode on full elliptic leaf springs at both ends, providing a ride best described as educational. The wooden wheels measured 44 inches at the front and 44 inches at the rear, wrapped in solid rubber tires that were about as forgiving as a preacher with a broken clock. Ground clearance was a glorious 18 inches, which made crossing creeks more fun and getting in and out of the cab a real test of character. And joints, the brakes, were an adventure. A contracting band brake on the rear axle did most of the stopping, with an emergency brake acting on the jack shaft for when things got spicy. Turning the auto wagon required muscle, nerve, and the occasional apology to livestock. Fuel consumption figures? Largely irrelevant because the MW wasn't about miles per gallon, it was about gallons per chore. And top speed? 25 miles per hour, downhill with a tailwind and no passengers. This was a vehicle built for terrain, not speed. The delivery body itself was classic early 20th century utility, an enclosed box for cargo with kerosene tail lamps and acetylene headlamps to ensure nighttime operation didn't end in a ditch, or worse, a town ordinance. IHC offered multiple body types, but the MW delivery was the workhorse's workhorse. It came with a flatbed and could be fitted with benches for Sunday church runs. Some owners even customized their boxes with signage, making it a rolling billboard, delivery van, and family car all in one. Urban buyers might have scoffed at the auto wagon, but that was like a Wall Street banker laughing at a snowplow. It just wasn't built for the same battlefield. And out in the countryside, where winter could last half the year and the closest repair shop was your cousin Jim with a pipe wrench, the MW wasn't just transport, it was insurance against isolation. Other automakers dreamed of racetracks. IHC dreamed of mail routes that crossed creeks and cornfields. As for pricing, the original cost hovered around $750 in 1912, rising slightly by 1913. That's about $25,500 today in 2025 terms. In modern auction houses, however, this agricultural legend fetches much more admiration and occasionally a fat check. In 2013, a beautiful MW delivery sold for $44,000 at RM Sotheby's in Hershey. A decade later, another went for $36,300 at the same event. That's a decent price for a vehicle that once hauled cabbages and calico. Beyond the dollars, the auto wagon carries stories of Sunday rides in your one and only vehicle, of parades through town square with kids waving from the bed, of ancient shopkeepers who swore theirs still ran if you poured the right mix of gas and optimism. These machines often stayed in families for decades, not because they were rare, but because they were remembered. You don't just junk something that brought your grandmother to the county fair and your father home from the feed store. There's something poetic about the MW delivery. It marks the turning point between horses and horsepower, between the 19th century's slow crawl and the 20th century's mechanical sprint. It reminds us that innovation doesn't always roar in chrome and tail fins. Sometimes it clatters along on wooden wheels, leaving behind a trail of dust and satisfied customers. If this story of preposterously tall wheels and gloriously low speeds made you smile, why not hit that subscribe button? It costs nothing, unlike vintage solid rubber tires. And hey, next time you're stuck in traffic, just imagine trying to make that same trip with a magnetic ignition and a kerosene tail lamp. Suddenly, your day might not seem so bad. Keep rolling, my friends.